in the interest of time, I'm jumping straight to the exact verse I care about most importantly. Surah 28, Ayah 38.
Okay.
And Pharaoh said, O chiefs, I know not that you have a God other than me. So kindle for me.
Are you speaking on the Quran, man?
So
I know it's a translation. The meaning
So
of it.
kindle for me,
But I still
O
respect.
Haman, to bake the mud and set up for me a lofty tower in order that I may survey the God of Moses, and I consider him of the liars. Question to you is simple. When did the Egyptians bake the mud to build a lofty tower? When?
Okay, first of all, he came to me, he said there is historical error in the Quran. There's a problem in the Quran, correct? So you said. So my question to you, that's why you want to let me speak. In order for you to say what is right, what is wrong in the Quran, you need to have a criteria, correct? So first of all, we know historically speaking, if you look back to the story of Pharaoh, not the Egyptian Pharaoh, the pharaohs of the Egyptian, because we know the Egyptian always write their history, and we know this great history was not written according to the ancient Egyptians. So if you read to the Muslim scholars, historians, they were speaking about there was a time when the Malachites, the Arabs, controlled Egypt. Even in the Western historians, they say there was a time when there was a gap in the history in the history of the Egyptian pharaohs. And what they call it in English again, hoaxes, or I can't remember what they call it. Anyway, the point
Shamsi,
is,
I'm assuming somewhere you'd answer my question.
I'm going to ask you a question. So they did build it, yes. So now you can't say it. No, wait.
My question was simple.
They did, yes.
When did the Egyptians bake the mud to build towers?
The time when the Arabs controlled Egypt.
And what evidence have we got for that?
Okay, what evidence I got of that? The Muslim historians. They're not happy with you? You're not happy with Muslim
Excuse me,
historians?
Shamsi, for your information, you can go to, you are from Morocco, aren't you?
No, I'm not from Morocco, but I have Moroccan in me. My grandma Moroccan, I'm Algerian. Yes.
You're Algerian.
Yes.
So Egypt is not far away from there. The fact of the
What is
matter,
his point now?
The fact of the matter is simple. We
Okay,
know
can you get
the fact
Egypt and
the fact
because I can't remember English.
The fact of the matter is so simple.
They did bake. I said they did.
Which is please find evidence. I'm eagerly looking forward to the evidence.
No, wait.
The fact,
Do you need evidence
in the
from where?
meantime,
No, the evidence from wait. Listen.
In the meantime,
the evidence from where? Wait.
From any source of history, anything.
Islamic history.
Excuse me. Bricks.
Well, see, that's why he is man. You can't speak to him. Do you
Shamsi,
accept Islamic history?
Excuse me, Shamsi.
My name is Shamsi, not Shamshi. You can say Shamsi. What's his name?
Shamsi.
Okay.
Yes, what is my name?
Huh?
What is
I don't know your name.
And therefore,
Okay.
forget about taking moral high ground.
No, but
I don't know your name also.
No, you know
Why
my
should I
name.
know- Why should I know your
You
name?
can say Shamsi, so you know my name.
Approximation.
Anyway.
Approximation.
That's why I don't want to speak to
Shamsi,
you.
Shamsi.
Anyway, they did, yes.
We know plenty about. We know plenty. We know plenty.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Prior to Islam, the only source for information for the story of Musa and Pharaoh was the Torah and what is found with the Jews, okay, in the books. On the basis of these sources and the Western scholarship, the common view is that Pharaoh was an Egyptian captive, okay, in the mountain of Sinai. Sinai, the Torah of Sinai, is the Sinai of Peninsula, no, in Arabia. That is the Israelites where they're forced to build Pyramid of Egypt, despite the fact they are much earlier than the Israelites. The Israelite narration from Beni Israel, which are children of Israel, which are not free of exaggeration, will rely upon providing many of details of the story, and they have shaped knowledge of this event. So,
Shamsi,
wait.
No. Nowhere did I hear about baked bricks.
Let me speak.
Where?
Let me speak. Okay, the Quran is a source of history. Do you accept it?
Well, the Quran says all sorts of fantasy things.
Oh, okay. The
which
Bible. No, wait. He said. Wait. Bro. Let me speak now. I have to speak.
I let you speak for so long.
No, you keep cutting me.
I let you speak
You
for
keep
so
cutting
long.
me. If you don't, I know
I
you
let
have.
you speak for so
Remember,
long.
you have a memory fish. Memory fish. I
let you speak
He's not
for
gonna-
so long.
Look, I'm gonna speak. Bro, can I speak? No, can I speak?
Obviously you can. We can see that very clearly.
Bro, no, wait. What is, okay, you said to me clearly, give me any source of history. Did you say that? Yes, the Quran is a source of history. Do you accept it?
No, Shamsi, the context is simple.
Bro, I ask you that. Do you accept Quran as a source of history? Because you
No,
said,
I don't.
So why you said accept any? Hypocrisy.
Shamsi,
Wallah,
there
listen.
is something
Do
called logic.
you hear what you saying.
I'm going to respond.
Do you listen to yourself?
Excuse me. I'm responding to you now.
La akhi.
Please listen. Obviously, when I read a particular source and ask for evidence,
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to show that source again. Obviously, this should be obvious.
No.
So, excuse me. One second.
Go on.
When I read something from this book,
Yeah.
and ask you for evidence,
Yeah.
I necessarily mean corroborating evidence, not for you to read the same thing again. If you do that, of course, every single statement in the world would be true.
Okay.
Oh, I am an elephant. Well, what evidence is there? I just said so. That'd be silly. Okay. And therefore, in the context of what I did, obviously, I'm asking for evidence outside of the Quran. I could also help you in this.
Okay. No, before
Which
you
is-
help me.
The help that I could offer to you is Egypt is one of the few nations in the entire world for which we have unparalleled level of archaeological artifacts.
Oh,
Shamsi,
he's gonna shoot himself in the
wait,
foot.
wait. Oh, we'll watch everything.
Yeah.
Everyone is
Because
watching.
remember, you have a fish
Don't
memory.
worry.
Remember that.
Don't worry.
Remember.
Don't worry. Just answer.
Bro, don't tell me how to answer. You're gonna have to let me speak.
Okay, let him speak.
Don't cut me. All right.
Good.
Okay.
Egypt, plenty of artifacts.
No, it's a
A
lie.
tower,
Watch this.
a
No,
tower,
this is Israeli archaeology.
a tower,
No, watch this. No,
a
No,
tower,
Akhi, excuse me, bro.
tower.
You next to my, let me speak.
tower.
No, wait. He's getting frustrated, this man. He's next to my head. Let me speak.
Who
Bro,
spoke
you
before
can-
him?
Huh?
Who spoke before him?
You were speaking before him.
Excuse me, he was shouting
He's
before
not
that.
like my ear.
Is that your student?
This is gay.
Is that your student?
Carry on.
Ask him to stay
Just carry
quiet.
on. Carry on.
Sir.
Before you ask him, you should ask him first.
No, he spoke.
I know you have a fish memory. Don't worry. Go on. Go on.
Shamsi, anyway, doesn't matter.
Okay.
What matters is the truthfulness of the Quran.
All right, go on.
And that
Let
is
us
my-
analyze
My
that.
problem is simple. Bake mud. Show me one evidence out of the plenty of evidences from Egyptian archaeology.
Yeah.
Just one. One of a mud-baked, brick-based tower.
Okay. First of all, now remember what he said. I know he has a fish memory, but everyone watch it again. Okay. He said that if I ask you for a proof about an event, I don't want it from the same sources. I want it outside.
Which is logical.
It's cutting me. Look. It's illogical. Okay. Remember that I want him to be consistent because I'm going to speak about the issue. But remember, the issue when the Bible said when Jesus was raised up and many people come out from the graves, dead people, they start walking in the streets. I want you to give me evidence outside. Bro, let me finish. I'm
No
coming to
answer.
it. No, let me finish. I'm
Surah Al-Qasas.
Let me finish. I'm coming to
let
it.
you finish.
Okay, just remember.
Hopefully there is an answer somewhere.
No, bro.
Mud-baked bricks.
Remember,
Go
this
on.
guy, he is scared now. No, he's cutting
Terribly.
me. Yes.
I
So
didn't
remember
try.
that. I'm gonna speak
This
up.
continues. Go on. Go on.
You know, in this country, we have manners. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let me teach you.
All right, Shabbat.
All right.
Go on.
Stop touching me, by the way. Okay. Point here is I want him to be consistent. Okay. Now, if there is something in a book and you want to establish it's true, according to him, you have to go outside the book and look for it. So after I finish, I want my question to be answered because these Christians, they are the biggest hypocrites, missionaries. Let me specify it. Christian missionaries in the park, they are the biggest hypocrites. So the event of the dead people start walking up alive, come back to life after Jesus, according to them, was dead or raised up, start walking in Jerusalem outside. Okay, now let's go back to it. Now, as a Muslim, I don't base the Quran to be the truth because of this story. No, as a holistic book, there is many miracles in the Quran. There is many proofs. Likewise, from the outside of the Quran. Likewise, the prophetic tradition. He's a prophecy to establish Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet and the Quran is a speech of Allah. Now, is a condition. Every event that has been mentioned in the Quran, in order for it to be true, it has to be mentioned outside. If this is the case, he's gonna start drowning in his own sweat. Okay. Now the brother wants to give me a sign. Okay. Read it out because you know just.
Look. Here, yeah. Neil Silberman, 2002, in the Bible unearthed archaeology's new vision of ancient Israel and the origin of its ancient texts. Zeev Herzog, an Israeli archaeologist and a leading figure in the field of the historicity of the Hebrew Bible, wrote in 1999, following 70 years of intensive excavations in the land of Israel, archaeologists have found out the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, Jacob and Moses, acts are legendary. The Israelites did not sojourn in Egypt or make an exodus. They did not conquer the land.
Because you're ranting on a topic which is completely unrelated.
I'm gonna come.
There you
Let
go.
him finish. He's scared.
Terribly scared.
Why is the point here?
In other words, mud baked bricks, you have no evidence
no,
whatsoever.
we have.
And because you don't have an evidence,
Bro.
you're running away to Israel. You need to
look, he's scared.
It's something
Look how
your
he's
teacher.
He's scared. Bro, calm down. He's outside. Speak. Calm down.
Oh, you just finished.
Yeah, but you haven't finished. You start cutting him. This guy has a fish memory. He interrupted him. He said he finished. Bro, are you serious? Okay, now the story. No, let me finish.
Bricks.
Bro, I'm gonna speak about it now. The made-back brick. The historians, the Muslim historians, they said it was not the Egyptians, which is the Egypt in our time. This happened amongst the Arabs, who the fact was they ruled parts of Egypt. So the story of Musa happened with Fir'aun, whose name was an Arab name. And the Muslim historians, the likes of Ibn Jarir Tabari, who died, he was alive 300 years after Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and he was a big historian. Even Oxford University, they recognize him to be one known profound historian. He mentioned the story of Moses with Fir'aun is not the one that which is the Bible got wrong, because the Egyptians are known to write down history, and they never wrote down the history of Moses. So if you go to Egypt now, there is many histories. How come?
You've been
Muslim Arabic mean land. Doesn't mean Egypt. So I finished you. I finished you.
Thank you for finishing me. Thank you for finishing.
Because many people think Egypt. He think Muslim.
Can you stay
Egypt.
quiet now?
No.
After you finish speaking.
Bro. So do you understand what I said?
I have a brain to process things.
No, repeat what I said.
What did I not need to repeat.
No.
I'm not a Muslim. I don't repeat things.
The story of Moses, for the viewers, the story of Moses in the Quran is not the Egypt that is known now.
Okay, sure.
Egypt.
Thank you, Shamsi. Thank you for your great contribution.
So you asking me questions about the Egyptian archaeologists is a wrong term. It's a wrong premises.
You had try 1. He had try 2, and then you came back with try 3.
And
no evidence.
No. What was he talking about?
No, excuse me. Wait, please. No evidence. No evidence.
There is evidence.
Excuse me.
Historians are mentioning historians.
Excuse me. No evidence whatsoever for mud-baked bricks. And what are the responses you came up with? A bit childish. When I was talking about mud-baked,
let everyone understand your point.
I am talking
why
about. Excuse me. Please stay quiet.
Why are you scared?
Where is he pointing?
The idea is one side speaks first time, and the other side responds.
Like you cut me.
That's the
No,
idea.
but what's the-
It's not called.
because
Okay, that's why I don't want to speak to him.
It's
Look at his
listening.
Wallahi. But anyway, go on.
The point.
It's waste of time. Go on.
No evidence for mud-baked bricks. Thank you. Now, when have given the evidence? It's not just the fact that you did not provide any evidence for mud-baked bricks.
I did. Historian Ibn Jarir Tabari.
Excuse
Do
me.
you accept Ibn Jarir?
Excuse me.
You're lying against me. Don't tell me excuse me. I said Ibn Jarir Tabari is not Quran, is a historian which is recognized by Oxford University to be a profound scholar. Do you accept him? No. Do you accept him? Yes or no?
Excuse me, Shamsi.
Do you accept him?
He's basically playing games.
Yeah. Because this guy.
It's my turn now.
No. Before you tell,
know
do you
how to
accept him?
listen.
No, you're lying against me. You said I
know
have
how
not
to listen.
I have not provided evidence. I
If
did.
you know-
Do you accept it? The evidence out of the Quran now. Do you accept it?
If you know how to listen,
Before I listen, you lied against me, did you? You said I have not provided evidence.
if you can stay quiet for some time,
I
please.
did from outside the
If
Quran.
you can stay quiet,
Okay.
please, for some time. Thank you.
Bros, don't lie against me because you get me frustrated.
I'm not
You
getting
should keep
angry.
lying.
In a very
I'm not getting
calm
angry.
way.
We
I'm
Algerians,
asking you to stay
Moroccans,
quiet.
Tunisians, that's how we get speak. You know?
asking
We are
you to
very
stay quiet.
energetic. We're very
asking you
passionate.
to stay
Very
quiet.
passionate.
Let him say it. Watch.
Passion doesn't help. You need knowledge and you need the truth.
This is the guy who said God's a human being. He said never knowledge.
So,
Go on, speak.
point number 1.
A book. Yeah.
Point number 1. You did not provide any evidence for mud-baked bricks as a tower. Mud-baked bricks as tower.
Okay.
The best evidence you gave me was Al-Tabari, who comes even after Muhammad. Al-Tabari is not a witness for Pharaoh during the time of Moses. Not a witness.
Watch this.
Al-Tabari is not a better witness than your Quran. It's a worse witness. If at all it's a witness. So forget about using Al-Tabari. Now, coming back to number 1. No evidence.
No. I didn't ask my question. My question, give me evidence outside the Bible when the dead people come back to life, start walking in Jerusalem. Give me.
If you,
yeah, because you sit
if you
outside
let
the
me,
Bible.
if you,
Yes, watch
if
this
you,
now.
If you let,
You have to be consistent. Yes.
if you let me speak,
I'll let you even speak till tomorrow as long as you give us evidence.
doesn't seem to be happening.
Okay, خلاص.
When is that going to happen?
No problem. Brothers, give him 5 minutes. If he doesn't answer my question, everyone, even the non-Muslim, be just. My question to him, he said before you accept a story in the book, he has to be outside evidences. So there's a story in the Bible when the dead people come back to life, they start walking Jerusalem. That is in the Bible. So I want him to give me an evidence outside the Bible that is been mentioned. Eyewitnesses.
You mentioned that multiple times already.
Okay, خلاص, go on. 5 minutes, I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Go on.
Whoa. When is that collapse going to happen? Doesn't seem to be happening.
He likes to comment, isn't it?
Just talk.
Good.
5 minutes.
Mud baked bricks is an act is incorrectly placed during the time of Pharaoh during the time of Moses. Incorrectly placed, just in the wrong time, in the wrong land. Incorrect. What evidence have you shown? Nothing. What evidence can I show? The contrary evidence I can show to you that this can't be true at all is the fact that mud baked bricks, towers based on that, are archaeological artifacts. The fact of the matter is we find plenty of archaeological artifacts in Egypt, but no mud baked brick. And therefore, the idea of mud baked brick based artifact and the fact that there exists none despite having plenty of archaeological artifacts in Egypt tells you that this is a fantasy idea misplaced in time and space. Point number one. In regards to the Bible, what evidence can I show outside of the Bible for these dead people coming back alive? Outside of the Bible, stay quiet. Dead.
Go, Bismillah, Bismillah. Bismillah, go on. Go on, Bismillah.
Outside of the Bible, I can't show.
Hypocrite. Let me control my anger. Biggest munafiq, Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul, is lesser than you. Carry on. I got in 5 minutes. Carry on.
For your
you know what? I told you come to the wrong guy. You have a fish memory, brother. Brother, you have a fish memory.
For your information, this is England. We have manners.
No.
Which is what you said earlier. I'd like to
That's
just
still
repeat
manners.
them.
Manners to expose the hypocrites.
I don't.
That's a good manners to expose the hypocrites.
Excuse me.
So carry on.
The part of manners is
To
not.
expose the hypocrites. That's part of manners.
Continue with your point. Time
Also, listen.
No, before you listen, you expose hypocrites.
So, for mud baked bricks.
No. The story of the dead people. So you have no outside and you say accept it. So your criteria before we accept it.
Do you have the capacity to
let's
listen?
respond to his
Shamsi?
point one, though.
Yeah. Do you have the capacity to listen?
No, one second. Your point
You
one.
really
Point
have the
one.
capacity to
Point
listen.
one.
We don't have many.
Yeah, watch this.
Do you have the capacity to listen?
Listen,
That's why I spoke to you
you
for
did.
2 hours
You made
last
2
week.
Don't
points.
seem to be.
You made points.
You don't
You
seem
did
to be
make 2
doing
points.
that.
No, watch this. Your point
Shamsi,
one. No.
Shamsi.
Does everyone understand? Does everyone
Excuse
understand
me,
this
sir.
guy's
You can
point?
move away.
No. Why do
Shamsi,
you need to go away?
Doesn't go away. Don't
Yeah,
take
why
away.
do I need to go
Can
away?
speak.
It's a free country.
That's
innit?
a quite.
I know how.
Yeah, so
Okay, so what?
I'm honestly asking you to listen.
He cannot
Honestly asking you to listen.
Before, the first point, where the Egyptian said that, he said you cannot build. If I
Honestly,
you cannot build what?
asking you.
Towers, mud bricks. Where the Egyptian said that, and are the Egyptian God to know everything how it works?
Honestly ask you
Look
to
this
listen.
guy, fish memory. Go on.
Honestly, you mentioned the term fish memory multiple
Because
times.
you keep forgetting what you said, brother.
It's a bit silly that you keep.
No, it's
doing
not. To
that.
remind you, because remember
it's a
you
bit
keep
silly.
forgetting that you have fish memory.
It's a bit silly that you're doing that.
Bro, can you
but-
speak? First
Which
point.
I can. If you stay quiet, please.
Okay, go on.
For some time. Thank you.
How long are we gonna be here till the Qiyamah?
Watch this.
Well, if you give me some time to speak, you might get some answers.
Okay, go on.
Good. Mud break.
1 minute, خلاص.
Mud
2 minutes to be speaking.
Let him finish.
Mud break bricks.
Yeah.
You can't provide an evidence. I can provide counter evidences. Counter evidences from the fact that plenty of archaeological artifacts, but zilch of mud baked brick towers. Counter evidence.
And we're not listening. Based
Counter
on
evidence.
And we-
Let me finish.
Let him finish.
Let me finish.
Let him remember that he's doing a job for us for Christian to be
Never
Muslims.
have the habit of listening. Never. Never have the habit
Let
of
him
listening.
finish. Let him finish.
Can you speak, please? Go on. I'm gonna.
If you stay quiet, thank you. In contrast, go to the dead people coming back alive. I can't provide any evidence outside of the Bible. Can you provide counter evidence that that did not happen? Can you do that?
Wait. So look to the hypocrisy. You counter evidence that the Prophet Muhammad, Prophet Moses, and with the Pharaoh never happened. What is it? Because you're saying no.
The counter evidence, if I could repeat,
No.
despite the fact of repeating.
No, let me understand. That is not a fact. Look.
The counter evidence is the fact that there are multiple hundreds of archaeological artifacts in Egypt.
He doesn't listen. You must listen. No, man, but he doesn't listen. Look,
That's the counter
look, when you
evidence.
speak to Christian missionaries,
If you-
I thought it's my time to listen. Tell him. Be in front of the camera. You said time to listen. He was quiet. Look, Christians.
Be just, innit? Be just.
Be just, okay. Now the point here is that the Christian missionaries is like, I have 20 billion pounds. Who is the proof? No, proof to me, I don't have it. What? Hold a minute. You're claiming, so you have to bring a proof. Not me, I have to disprove you're wrong. Bro, let me finish. No, you have to, the proof is upon you, not upon me. Because you already laid down the criteria. It was not my criteria, it is yours. That if an event took place, if we read it in a book, in order to accept it to be true, we have to go outside, correct? Now let me make it more clearer to the non-Muslims as well. Can you give me proof from the archaeologists, the Egyptian archaeologists, yeah, where is found Moses and the Israelites? Because we know the Egyptian, they wrote history of theirs. They wrote it. They wrote down everything. How come, as the brother read out to you, from an Israelite, not from me, an Israelite, who said the stories of Moses, archaeologists, he said that never exists in Egypt. No evidence that occurred. Okay, now I have encounter. Wait. I have an encounter something against your story in the Bible concerning Moses and Pharaoh. That the historians read it. Let me read it out again. Let me read it out to show you.
70 years of intensive excavation.
How many years?
70
years. How many years?
70.
70. You know 70 and 7. Okay.
In the land of Israel, archaeologists have found out the patriarchs Abraham, Isaac, Jacob and Moses' acts are legendary. The Israelites did not sojourn in Egypt or make an exodus. They did not conquer the land. Neither is there any mention of the empire of David and Solomon, nor of the source of the belief in the God of Israel. These facts have been known for years, but Israel is a stubborn people and nobody wants to hear about it. This is what archaeologists have learned from the excavations in the land of Israel. Most of those who are engaged in scientific work in the interlocking spheres of the Bible. Yeah.
So no. We haven't finished. We haven't finished.
Speak for 10 minutes.
I haven't finished. You've been speaking for long. I haven't finished. Yeah. You're speaking long. No. Let me finish. No. Wait. Let me finish. Let me finish.
This is a blatant lie.
Blatant lie. Proof is lie. Give us archaeologists who went to Egypt. Show us. No. Show me. No. Wait. Now about the mud. You know what the mud thing? That if you go to Oman. No, wait.
Let me stay quiet.
If you go to Oman, many countries be built by what?
He already
by
spoke.
What? By built.
He already spoke. He already spoke.
No, let me speak.
He already spoke.
Bro,
who is he? Is he on your side or not?
He's on my side, yeah.
He already spoke.
Yeah, but we haven't finished yet.
6 minutes.
Yeah. He's just reading out. He's just reading. I cannot see
Speaking
properly.
to you is a huge challenge, Shamsi.
Thank you very much. That's why you should come to me.
I said challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge
bro,
necessarily is not a good thing.
Bro.
No.
So wait. So there's two things here that we can see clearly. That
The fact that you can't provide evidence.
Let me finish.
And the fact that you read statements.
Let me finish. Yes. Two things here.
No 5 minutes. Just who told you about 5 minutes? Who is that? Is that Shamsi's assistant there? Shamsi's second assistant.
Anyway, the story of the baked mud, you can go clear to Oman and many countries. When you go
Egypt.
to bro,
Egypt.
I told you it's not in Egypt.
1,500 BC.
Your premise is false. Your premise is false because the story of Moses in the Quran, we don't believe took place in Egypt, which you believe is Egypt.
And
it's
it's
another land.
Oh,
So you're wrong. Let me finish.
Where
Your
comes
premise
all
is
the
wrong.
fantasy?
Let me finish.
Pharaoh
Let me
in
finish.
Oman.
Let me
Did
finish.
you hear that?
I didn't say Oman. Story of the baked mud, you can go clear to Oman and many countries. I didn't say Oman. Listen, learn how to
Pharaoh
listen.
not in Egypt.
No,
Where was the Pharaoh?
Wait.
If the Pharaoh was not in Egypt,
no.
where was he?
If you know about the Kemites, you know about Kemites?
He doesn't
You know about
basically.
Kemites are the Egyptians. He doesn't know, he's just clueless. He just read the Bible, he can go outside the Bible. So the story. Let me finish.
Don't ask
Let me
me
finish.
silly
Can I
questions.
finish? Let me finish.
Don't ask
Let me
me
finish. So
This is
wait.
Evidence for.
Let me finish.
Are you really
let me
saying
finish.
the Pharaoh was not from Egypt?
Let me finish.
Is that what you really saying?
Let me finish.
Are you
you're
really
not
saying
gonna
the
let me
Pharaoh was not from
Let me
Egypt?
finish.
There is no point in
Let
letting
me
you
finish. Let me finish.
Are you saying the Pharaoh was not from
Let's
Egypt?
speak now. The story of
Are you saying the Pharaoh was not from
the
Egypt?
story of Moses that Allah mentioned the Quran as the historians and the Mufassirun, Islamic exegetists explained that was not the Pharaoh of the Egypt of our time. It was not the different places that occurred. Some people say
Which
it was
Egypt is this?
Bro. Egypt. No, I'm not talking about Egypt.
Misr, land.
Misr means land. In Arabic language doesn't say Egypt.
Question.
Is it land?
Where was this
Okay,
Egypt?
no,
This
this
special Egypt.
Land. It was a
Fantasy
land.
Egypt. This
It's not
fantasy
It's not
Egypt.
Egypt, it's a land called a place where Pharaoh, you don't understand? The land.
Shamsi,
Bro,
anyone with
Misr Arabic doesn't mean
schooling
Egypt. Bro. Misr, I'm talking about.
Pharaohs ruled in Egypt.
Bro.
This is
No.
elementary knowledge.
No.
If
You have to
are
learn.
talking
You
about
have
a
to
Pharaoh
learn
who
that-
did not
no,
rule in Egypt.
Bro, he's not gonna finish.
Where did the
He's not
Pharaoh
gonna finish.
rule in?
Bro,
Don't
finish.
in the Bible.
Okay,
Don't fantasy
there is
land.
Arab.
Did Pharaoh
Okay,
rule
there is Arab. The Amalekites. One of their kings was called Pharaoh, and that was the story that
Amalekites?
Bro.
A
Let me
king of
speak.
Amalekites
Let me
was a pharaoh?
Let me speak.
Which king was this?
Can I speak? If you're
Well, if I let you speak for 5 minutes, it's already 500
before you learn how to
twice.
listen. Listen, advise yourself first before you
Pharaoh
advise me.
in Amalekite.
Let me finish. Now, if you go to the history, even amongst the Western historians, they will tell you when you read the history of Egypt, clearly the Egyptians were known to write down the history. But the history of Moses is a great history. That Moses and the Pharaoh was drowned in the water, was destroyed, the army and everything. It's not written. How is not written? But when you go to the Muslim historians, alhamdulillah, already knew about the archaeologists of our time. That yes, Moses and the story of Moses and Pharaoh is not what the people think Egypt our time. Because Arabic Misr means land. And the Muslim historians mention it was a different place. Now, wait. Before we go off to anything, your premises was wrong to begin with. Do you accept that?
Your statements are completely
Take off
historically.
Zombies in the Bible, zombies.
Anyway, prove to me that dead people come back to life. Prove to me dead people come back to life.
Historically,
Prove to me dead people come back to life.
Zombies in the Bible.
Prove to me dead people come back to life.
Incorrect.
Prove to me dead people come back to life.
Even get you
Prove
through
to
primary
me.
schooling.
Prove to me. Yes, the guy who believed that people come back to life walking in
statements-
Jerusalem. No one wrote it down.
I believe in
Prove to
God
me.
who can raise dead people back to life.
I believe
You
in God.
believe in a God
I believe in
who
God.
doesn't do it.
No.
And therefore, this is a bit of a surprise
I
to
believe
you.
in God.
I appreciate
who can create
that.
nation and disappear them. See this guy.
Mizraim.
Look hypocrisy. He's a
Mizraim.
hypocrite. Well, I'm wasting my time. Let's go.
Mizraim.
Anyway,
Zombies.
can you provide?
Mizraim.
No, before you tell Mizraim.
Mizraim.
Before. Provide to me outside evidence from the Bible.
Mizraim.
Outside the Bible about people come back to life.
Mizraim.
Can prove to me? Wallah, it's a rock.
Zombies in the
He
Bible.
made a claim to us to me. He said, I cannot prove it, but you have to disprove it. No. The claim
not
is.
what I said.
Did he say
I
that?
said-
He said that.
I said-
No, I don't speak to you.
I
No.
said-
You have a fair. No.
I
Take
said-
care of your life.
Baked bricks.
No, listen,
I can-
no, don't lie. When I said to you about the people coming back to
I
life,
said
you
that
said to me you cannot
for
prove
baked
it.
bricks,
You said you cannot
can't give
Okay,
evidence.
this guy is a
I can give counter evidence.
No, we can't.
And therefore,
no, it's not.
that
It's not.
clearly
That's not counter
is
evidence.
wrong.
It's not wrong.
For dead people
Because
coming back
your
alive
premise is wrong.
during the time of Jesus,
Yeah.
I can't provide
Okay.
evidence outside of the Bible.
Okay.
Can you provide counter evidence? You simply
You
can't.
made the claim. You
And
made.
that's
I
where
can.
it's neutral. Neutral.
The Romans.
What's
is not-
your evidence
I'll tell
for
you.
the
The
fact that they
Romans
didn't come back alive?
The Romans were known to write history.
Really?
Are you?
Which
really?
Romans?
Which? No.
I'll give you the evidence. Oh, thank you. Can you show your face to the camera? here? Thank you. Can you please come here, show your face, and then go? I can't see your face. So,
Oh, well, if people came back from the dead,
no.
it would
Can
be
you show
written
your
in
face in
Josephus.
front of the camera?
No, I can't, sorry.
Then I need to wrap up here. The fact of the matter is this. Surah 28, Ayah 38 talks about mud-baked bricks. A tower based of mud-baked bricks. There are three problems actually. There are multiple problems in this surah. Two problems in this particular verse that I'd like to point out to. Number one, mud-baked bricks used to build large towers did not happen in Egypt. Not certainly during the time of Moses. Number one. Number two, mud-baked bricks and climbing up that to go and check out if God of Moses was there is again an anachronistic idea. Anachronistic idea that to me seems like comes from the time of Tower of Babel. Obviously someone who wrote this did not know the time difference between the Tower of Babel and Moses in Egypt. Because they did not know the time difference and because they did not know the place difference, because that happened in Shinar, the land of Shinar, Babylon. Because they did not know the difference between the geography and the time, they obviously use this example here. I have reasons to think perhaps this is one of the reasons why people never let the Quran, people advance this idea that the Quran must be read only in Arabic, because it seems like when foreigners begin reading the Quran in their own mother tongues, they figure out all these problems. And to me it seems like that could be a reason why the foreigners who knew about their own lands, Egyptians who knew their own land at that time, I'm not talking about Egyptians today, Egyptians of that time and Babylonians of their time would know that something is seriously wrong here. And to me it seems like that might be a good reason why the Quran was asked to be read only in Arabic. Anyway, coming back to the point, incorrect ideas related to Egypt. Shamsi seems to think that the problem, my logic has a problem, which is that he can't give evidence and I can't prove that to be incorrect. My point is not that. My point is he can't give me evidence for mud-baked bricks based tower, and I can give him the lack of evidence despite the fact that there are plenty of archaeological evidences in Egypt, and that is counter evidence. In other words, we're not talking about a simple lack of evidence. We're talking about lack of evidence in a place where there are plenty of evidences for all sorts of other things. In other words, it seems like this story is a fantasy story which just doesn't fit in there. Obviously, Muhammad said this. Why did he say this? Excuse me. I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I'm a Christian. Excuse me. I am a Christian. You ran away from me, Shamsi. You ran away from me, Shamsi. I don't know why you're here again. If you want a proper debate, we can do that. Fact of the matter is, Muslims across the world, there are plenty of errors in the Quran. Plenty. Some of which are crucial historical errors. Based on that, when the Quran contradicts with the Bible, you can clearly see which book got it right. Shamsi again spoke about the assistant of Shamsi who stood behind him, said there is no evidence for the kingdom of Israel. And this is a laughing matter, because to me it seems like he is not educated even in the alphabets of the historical resources available to back up the historicity of the nation of Israel. Teldan Stile, Merneptah Stile, what does he know about them? To me it seems like nothing. All that he knows is refer to Prophet Google, get a couple of articles somewhere, read things which suits his beliefs. That's what he has done. The Bible is trustworthy. The Bible is reliable historically, theologically. And ultimately, in the Bible, what do we find? God of the heavens and the earth, who created mankind, against whom mankind disobeyed, and therefore came in the judgment. That God is a very compassionate God. Not like the Islamic Allah of the Quran, but a very compassionate Yahweh. And that Yahweh, over a couple of millennia, told the nation of Israel that he was going to send his own son. His own son was going to come in as a sin offering, as an offering for our redemption. And that is precisely what Jesus did. Jesus came into this world, gave up his life for us on the cross, not because he couldn't say anything against it, but because he wanted to go through that. Jesus willingly laid down his life. But thankfully also, Jesus came back alive on the third day. The power of resurrection The resurrected Lord Jesus Christ is able to bring you and me back alive after we are dead. It is that God who can bring us back alive, who can give life to the dead, that we really need to follow. Everyone else is just a wannabe, but Jesus alone is God eternal with real, proven track record of supernatural power. Yahweh of the Bible is the only one who is worthy to be followed. Muslims across the world, I earnestly commend to you, you need to come to Jesus and follow him. Jesus is the way. Jesus is the one who would let us into heaven. There is no one else who could save us except for Jesus. Come to Jesus and you would enjoy a very happy life. Jesus said, those who believe in me shall not die, and even if they die, they shall come back alive. That is the Jesus. I invite you all to God's richest blessings to you all. Thank you.